When crafting a brand strategy, it's important to be able to communicate that strategy, not only to your internal team, but also to any vendor that may work with your company. And one of the best ways to know how to communicate that strategy is through a brand strategy document. Now, most brand agencies are going to give you a 100-page brand strategy document full of messaging and personas and touch points and things you can do in sales and what you should change on your website. And sometimes it even includes brand design guidelines in a one document. Here you go, here's everything. Now, at Shift, we do that as well, because in order to implement your brand strategy, you need to know how it plays out in every aspect of your business. But that really isn't a brand strategy document. That is a brand strategy with an implementation plan. When you are creating a brand strategy, you really only need 3 things within your brand strategy document to create your strategy and be able to communicate it with your team. So we're going to go over those 3 elements today. The first one is a brand strategy statement. This actually is your brand strategy, taking that unique value that you want to bring to the market and simplifying it down into one sentence. And the template that we use when crafting a brand strategy statement goes like this. We are the only we are the only category, whether that be web design agency, if that's a brand positioning agency, if that's a content creation agency, if that's a LinkedIn ghostwriter, if that's a recruitment company, if that's an IoT remote monitoring company. What is the category that you're going to play in? Who offers what unique value? What is that unique thing that you bring to the market that your competitors can't or won't do? By doing something different. I labeled it differentiation, but it's really, what are you going to do that's different? Because when you create a brand strategy, what we're really saying is this is what you're going to bring to the market that's different. So this is the crux of your brand strategy. Come up with a statement that clearly defines what you're going to bring to the market that's different. And while this is important, this is the essence, you need more than just this. The second part of a good brand strategy document is the strategy story, giving narrative to why you chose this strategy in the first place. Because you see, what's going to happen is you're going to go to your team, you're going to set your strategy in stone, you're going to go to your team and say, this is who we are now. And they're not going to understand why you chose that. They're not going to understand the reasoning behind this new strategy. And your brand strategy narrative or your strategy story clarifies it so your team understands why this is your new strategy. Now, when you go to craft your strategy story, there's multiple elements that you need to include. One is a statement of the status quo. What is the industry like now? What do most people expect? What are they thinking? And what's the basic requirements of doing business in your industry? And then, why does that status quo suck? What is the thing that you are rebelling against? What is the thing that you're coming in and saying, this sucks, we're gonna do it differently and we're gonna solve this problem? Then you're going to talk about your unique value, how you are coming in and solving this and making this different in a way that no one else is. Then explain how it's different. This is what we're going to come in and do. Here's how it's different. This is what our competitors are doing, and this is why we're doing it differently. And then explaining the value that your ideal customers get from this. Now, if you want an example of an epic strategy story, there's one from Tesla that Elon wrote back in 2006 when he was explaining the strategy of Tesla going to market. You see, when they started Tesla, they didn't come to the market trying to create a competing EV vehicle for the Prius. They came in and said, we're going to create luxury sports cars that are electric. It was vastly different than anything we had seen in the market. And most people would have seen that strategy, looked at that strategy statement and said, this is insane. No one's going to do this. This is why a strategy story is so important, is it explains the reasoning behind your strategy. And Elon did a great job explaining this is why we're creating sports cars that are electric rather than coming in and trying to compete with the Prius. Lastly, you want an action plan. What are we going to do to put this into practice? And when you create an action plan, there's really two pieces you need to have in place. A to-do list. What is it that you're going to do, whether that's start doing or keep doing? What are the offers you're going to still bring to the market? What are the marketing that you're going to do? What are the things based on your strategy statement that you need to do as a company to align with your new strategy? And then you need a kill list. What are the things that you need to stop doing, even if you love doing them? What are the things you need to stop doing in order to make this strategy true? And this is the hardest list for most people to create. In fact, most of my clients hate when we get to the kill list, because sometimes the things on the kill list are things that they want to keep doing, things they love doing, things that maybe have been part of their identity for years, but no longer align with the strategy that they're bringing to the market. So create a to-do list and create a kill list. After that, this is your brand strategy document. Everything else, marketing and touch points and identity and design, those are all ways to implement this strategy document. But to get going, if you are trying to generate new revenue for your company, just to get going, these are the three things you need. What is that unique value you're bringing to the market? How are you going to communicate it internally and to external vendors? And what is the action plan you need to put into place to make the strategy statement work? If you get those three elements down, you will have a very solid brand strategy document that will help you generate revenue. Now, if you're still struggling to understand what a brand strategy is, I have a video that I put together. It's a masterclass on brand strategy, and you can watch it here. But ultimately, when you decide on that brand strategy, you need a document that lays it out and communicates it so that you can make sure that your team and your vendors implement it correctly. Get this in place, and your strategy will become a reality.